Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the surprising, completely invisible health risks of smoking. We're talking about the risks that go far, far beyond what you usually hear about. Look, we all know smoking is dangerous, right? But the full picture of how it actively alters the human body, well, that's something that often gets totally lost in the public conversation. So, let's jump right in. If you ask literally anyone on the street about the dangers of smoking, what's the very first thing they say? They immediately think of lung cancer. It's on the warning labels, it's in all the public health commercials, but there is a massive blind spot here that we really need to uncover today. We actually have a severe imbalance in how we talk about this. On one side, the heavily publicized cancer risks completely dominate the spotlight, but hidden in the shadows are the equally deadly, yet rarely discussed cardiovascular and neurological threats, and these are happening quietly, right under the surface. To make sense of all this, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1, the great awareness gap, 2, damage to the heart, 3, brain risks and decline, 4, why we're so unaware, 5, the timeline of recovery, and 6, your path forward. Okay, starting with section 1, the great awareness gap, or the missing knowledge. Check this out. A 2016 study published in the journal PLOS-ONE revealed a really dangerous disconnect. They found that smokers vastly underestimate their chances of getting heart disease compared to their cancer risk. Now, why does this matter to you? Well, because perceived risk is what actually drives action. If you don't know the true stakes, you're far less likely to seek help and take steps to protect yourself. This knowledge gap isn't just some surprising piece of trivia. It's actively keeping people in danger. Moving on to section 2, damage to the heart. Let's look under the hood. This multiplier is just staggering. According to the CDC, smokers are 2 to 4 times more likely to develop heart disease than non-smokers. In fact, smoking is responsible for 1 in every 4 cardiovascular deaths in the United States alone. I mean, that is a colossal statistic that rarely gets the same airtime as respiratory issues. The mechanics here are essentially a two-front war on your body. On one side, nicotine acts as a powerful constrictor. It forces your blood vessels to narrow, making your heart work exhaustingly hard just to pump blood. And on the other side, carbon monoxide, yes, the exact same toxic gas found in car exhaust, literally hijacks your red blood cells, reducing the amount of oxygen they can carry. So your heart is being forced into overdrive while simultaneously being suffocated of the oxygen it desperately needs. Over time, this super toxic, high-pressure environment scars the delicate linings of your arteries, basically acting like a magnet for plaque. This direct cascade leads to coronary artery disease, where the arteries physically narrow. It triggers heart attacks at shockingly young ages. It induces chronic heart failure as the muscle just weakens from sheer exhaustion. And it causes peripheral artery disease, which chokes off blood flow to your limbs, causing severe pain and numbness. Now, this right here totally busts the myth of the safe, light smoker. You know, people often rationalize, well, I only have 1 or 2 a day, I'm fine. But the American Heart Association is incredibly clear on this. Smoking as few as 1 to 4 cigarettes per day significantly increases your risk of heart disease. There is absolutely no safe threshold when it comes to cardiovascular damage. Which brings us to section 3, brain risks and decline. The invisible threat. Okay, this number should genuinely give us all pause. A staggering 2015 review published in the Lancet Neurology identified smoking as a major modifiable risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. They found that smokers face around a 45% increased risk of developing Alzheimer's compared to non-smokers. That is a massive neurological toll. So how is this actually happening? Well, by starving your brain of that essential blood flow we just talked about and bombarding it with neurotoxins, smoking actively accelerates brain aging. Because of damaged vessel walls and clots, smokers become 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer a stroke. But even without a major event like that, long-term smokers suffer an invisible compounding decline. Memories fade faster, executive function drops, and cognitive processing speed crawls to a snail's pace. You don't feel it happening day to day, but make no mistake, the damage is building. Let's hit section 4. Why are we unaware? Understanding the blind spot. It really boils down to 3 main things. First, messaging focus. For decades, public health campaigns rightfully targeted lung cancer as the leading cause of cancer death, but they inadvertently overshadowed the heart and brain in the process. Second, delayed onset. These cardiovascular and cognitive conditions simmer slowly over decades. And third, symptom invisibility. Unlike a hacking daily smoker's cough, arterial plaque and brain decline are completely silent. That is, until a catastrophic event like a stroke or heart attack forces you to pay attention. Okay, on to section 5, the timeline of recovery, how the body heals. And guys, this is the good news. Literally the moment you quit, this miraculous timeline of healing begins. Just 20 minutes after your last cigarette, your heart rate and blood pressure begin to drop. Within 24 hours, toxic carbon monoxide normalizes. Fast forward 1 year. Just one single year, and your excess risk of coronary heart disease drops by a massive 50%. And after 15 years, your cardiovascular risk fundamentally matches someone who has never smoked a day in their life. Quitting helps instantly, and your body's ability to forgive and repair itself is truly profound at any age. Finally, section 6, your path forward, how to quit. Look, quitting isn't just about white-knuckling it with raw willpower, it's a structured medical journey. Step 1 is nicotine replacement therapy, utilizing patches or gums to handle those physical withdrawals. Step 2 involves FDA-approved prescription medications like varenicline or bupropion, which dramatically boost success rates. Step 3 introduces behavioral support and counseling to rewire the psychological habits. And Step 4 gives you 24/7 digital resources like smokefree.gov. Actually, combining behavioral support with medication produces the highest success rates by far. But the absolutely crucial first step, talk to your healthcare provider. A doctor can look at your medical history, understand your specific habits, and map out a personalized strategy just for you. You don't have to guess how to do this. Medical professionals are ready to help you build that exact plan. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. Now you can see the invisible threats. You know exactly what happens under the hood to your heart and your brain. But much more importantly, you know how beautifully and quickly your body can recover. So my final question to you is this. Knowing all of this, what step will you take today to reclaim your long-term health? Thank you so much for joining me, and please share this knowledge with anyone who might need it.